Well, guys, I put on social media this morning. Guess what I see? CM Punk has returned to the WWE, but he hasn't returned to Raw. He hasn't returned to SmackDown. He hasn't returned to NXT. Thank God for that. But he returned on WWE Backstage. And I've molding this over in my mind as I read it. And I'm thinking about it, and I kind of understand why they did this. This is supposed to be their big Sports Center show. It's a show that's on Fox Sports 1, FS1. It debuted last week, and it got the lowest ratings of any WWE show. I think even lower than NXT. It was a 0.4 or something like that. So they averaged 400,000 viewers. Really bad, terrible compared to what other sports shows get. So, they bring in Punk right at the end. Renee Young and I think Paige and Booker T, they're all there. And, a Cult of Personality plays. Punk comes out. And, he gets right up in the camera and he says, just when you think you got all the answers, I changed the culture. It's like a playoff of Roddy Piper. And he goes, I'll see you next week. So, obviously, Punk is going to get WWE Backstage, ratings next week. Everyone's going to tune in. Then I'm looking at this other show on YouTube. I believe it's also on the network, The Bump. I think it's on the network. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that it is. I don't really keep track of all these little goofball shows that they put on the network. All these shows that no one watches, that they cancel after a month or two. And so, this is another show that's attempting to be hip. They have an attractive girl there and three other goofballs sitting around. And that show, The Bump, is if you gave the YWC a show, it would probably turn out like that. So, this is, to me, the most disappointing return I think I've ever seen. The most anticipated return. And the one thing that's good about this return is seeing the reaction from AEW fans and WWE haters. Now, I guess that would technically make me a WWE hater, but I like the history of WWE, but I'm definitely not an AEW fan. But if you're a WWE hater, AEW fan, you're furious about this. Now, I don't want to group anybody, but I'm looking on social media and I'm seeing a bunch of goofballs talking about how all of a sudden, when the prospect of CM Punk coming to AEW was there, and it seemed like light at the end of the tunnel, a glimmer of hope, the heavens were opening up. You saw the CM part, but you couldn't quite see the Punk part. Everybody was singing the praises of CM Punk. Oh, Punk, this is going to be a huge return. They're finally going to right the wrongs and do right by Punk. But CM Punk, he says that he's not interested in it with AEW. And instead he goes with WWE. And all signs were pointing to this. For CM Punk was saying just a few weeks ago that he was willing to meet with the WWE, that he was open to meeting with Triple H and Vince McMahon. And they probably saw this as an opportunity. Let's bury AEW into the dirt. Let's get Punk. It doesn't even matter what way we get Punk. They didn't get him in wrestling form, but they still now own a piece of Punk. He's WWE. People are saying that I see some people arguing that he's Fox's property, but he's still on a WWE show, so I suppose he has to have some sort of contract with both of them, I guess. I don't really know if what kind of weird contract he has or how permanent it is. It's very light on the details. I'm sure that stuff is going to pour in, as the dirt sheets start digging through their sources and everything. So, now all of a sudden to these fans, CM Punk is a 40-year-old nobody. He's a goofball. WWE can have him. AEW doesn't need him. They're about the young stars anyway, and like it's just it's just so cringy. It's like you guys chanted CM Punk's name for 6 years, to the point even where Stephanie McMahon told you to stop already. You chanted his name like a bunch of goofballs, like a bunch of sad, pathetic nobodies. Just like what you're calling CM Punk, that's you. And now all of a sudden, I don't want any part of CM Punk. I mean, oh my God, come on. We all know that you love Punk and your butt hurt because Punk decided to go with WWE instead and not, wrestle and get hurt. So over on this show, The Bump, they're talking about, they're going to be in Chicago. They're saying that, Punk might show up there. And those types of things, they don't even mean anything anymore. How many times have they teased Sting versus The Undertaker on YouTube and on the network? They've done all these specials, and they're never going to have that match. So, it's enough already. I'm sick of, is he going to? No, he's not going to be in Chicago. He's going to be on Backstage. He's going to be making a lot of money, making this show relevant by being on there. Because people wanted Punk, so people are going to tune in to FS1 to watch Punk. That's what they're going to do. So, and they know exactly what they're doing, and it is a smart move. If they're not going to put any effort on this show, and plus, what are they even going to talk about on this show? They're going to talk positively about bad shows? Is that what they do on there? How are you really going to watch, an NXT Invasion and make that sound exciting? Wow, this is real excitement seeing a bunch of, nobody goofballs that no one even watches NXT and they're come on, Backstage needs someone like Punk, and they saw this, man, we really have nothing. We got to get someone big, and so they saw Punk is not going with AEW, and they jumped on it. Smart move by them, but am I excited about Punk being there? I'm gonna check out to see what he has to say, on Backstage. I'm sure it's going to be interesting, but it's not the same as him returning to Raw or SmackDown. But I'll tell you who does want him to return to Raw and SmackDown: the goofball fans, and of course, speaking of social media with the marks and the goofballs, how about Emperor Goofball himself? Well, who am I referring to? None other than Seth freaking Rollins. Of course he's got to get in on it. It's not enough, that this guy, is getting made a fool out of, challenging, different people. This is something that he's done for a long time. JR, lambasted this guy. He's done. He was buried. Then he said all that other cringy stuff, about adding, years onto Undertaker and Mankind's careers by stopping their Hell in a Cell match. This guy has made himself look so bad in the public eye, in forums and social media. You'd think he would stop, but he's not. He goes, "Fight me," to CM Punk. And then probably the cringiest account. And guys, I mentioned this account about a week or two ago when I was doing my SmackDown review. If you want a good reason why WWE seems to get away with these bad ratings on SmackDown, go check out the WWE on Fox account, whether it's on Twitter or Instagram. I mean, these guys are total marks. This, just like with the Bump, this is like if you gave the YWC a social media account, and you gave all the worst people, all the cringiest people, in the all the pro marking out for WWE over every single little thing they do. if you gave those YouTubers an account, it would look like this account right here, the WWE on Fox one. So Seth Rollins, so they say to him, talk it over on WWE Backstage. And Seth Rollins says, glad to do it. Book me a flight. I mean, like, that's not going to happen. And this is what I'm so sick of seeing wrestlers, and even like Randy Orton is guilty of doing this too. Why, why challenge people? We all know that it's fake, that it's kayfabe, that this has to go through Vince McMahon, this has to go through the writers. There's like a 1% chance that anything on social media is going to actually become reality. Now, if it did, that would be fine. If they took my advice and many others and like make social media part of reality, what you see on the show, that'd be a different story. But you have these guys like just acting like complete morons and goofs on social media, rioting and challenging wrestlers. Like, we know you have no stroke on the show. They're not going to listen to you. These matches are already predetermined. So what's the point of making these types of posts? So, and plus I'm not really interested in the CM Punk Seth Rollins match, because if they put it on WrestleMania, it's not even going to be the main event. It's probably going to be like in the mid card or something like that. They're going to have Adam Cole in the main event or something. We all know that there's going to be a cringy main event. It's not like we're going to get like a good main event like we used to. So, with that said, CM Punk is not going to be appearing on the show. They barely got him back. And I'm not even sure how I feel about him being back. I mean, after all this and the lawsuit and everything, like, he's going to come back. First of all, it makes the guy, like, completely devoid of any credibility. Because after all those things he said, they made me work hurt. They made me work injured. Ryback did this to me. They let Ryback get away with that. And now he's back with the company? Like, come on. Have a little self-respect. I mean, I know that he's here for the money. They're probably paying him very well. All he has to do is stand around, and talk about these shows. And I'm sure that they're going to give him, like, a little bit of carte blanche. They're probably going to let him, like Corey Graves, they're probably going to let him talk a little bit, like criticize certain things on the show, but probably not a lot. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe he'll go off on the product and they'll end up, like, releasing him or something like that, or it might be the greatest thing ever. But probably the latter. I can't really see it being, like, an unscripted thing. That's, we're not going to get that. So, I mean, like, looking at this and you really analyze it, it's not really that exciting because CM Punk is just going to be on some lame WWE-produced backstage show. Like, what are we going to get out of this, really? Seeing CM Punk stand there, it's not a promo. It's a backstage discussion show about boring shows. So are we really going to get excited about this? No. But it is fun to see all the smarky AEW fans losing their ever-loving minds over the fact that CM Punk, in a certain way, has returned to the WWE. Even if it isn't in the ring, he's still going to be featured weekly on a WWE program. So, Punk is back, guys. So I don't know. What do you think? Are you excited for this? Let me know down in the comments below. Subscribe if you haven't already. Click the bell so you get all the notifications when I post all my new videos. And guys, thank you all for watching. I'll see you next time.